Hi, welcome to Women in Leadership. My name is Reagan Jackson, and I'm the Program Director for Young Women Empowered. We are a nonprofit based in Seattle, and we call ourselves Why We. Why We cultivates the power of diverse young women to be creative leaders and courageous change makers through transformative programs within a collaborative community of belonging. Now, with everything closed down and everyone stuck at home, my youth have been asking, how can they still be leaders in our community if they're like stuck at home? And so to answer that, I've been wanting to just take a moment to shine a light on some of the women who are really out here being brilliant in their leadership amidst this crisis. And so today I'm here talking with Chef Ariel Bangs. Ariel Bangs is an innovative healer through healing through food, chef and owner of Healthy Creations of Chef Company. She's the creator and director of Taste International Youth Culinary Anthropology program and culinary director of Hip Hop is Green. She's also a food grower and a healthy plant-based food advocate. Welcome, Ariel.
Thank you.
Thank you. So tell us a bit about how COVID-19 has been impacting your life personally and professionally, and what you've been doing. What have you been up to?
Wow. Well, we have a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old, and so they're homebound and not enjoying that at all, which is, hard to see those little ones. They want to get out to the park and play with other little kids, and they really can't do that. So we've been having to be really creative. So we do a lot of learning, fun activities anyway. So playing with cars, painting, drawing, going out on balconies, rolling balls, making things. Yeah, just, doing a lot of cooking and exploring and taking advantage of all the online activities. Khan Academy has been like super awesome because they have so many really fun things for kids to do that are really interactive and are colorful and just like expand their little imaginations and are fun, which is cool. Um, I've been working from home. I have had my business for quite a while, so I've been able to work from home. But it's a challenge just because a lot of the work I do is outside. So I do a lot of private chef work, some little small scale, caterings. I have a donut product line and do meal planning as well. And so most of those have kind of come to a standstill just because people can't, people don't want to have people in their homes right now, and people aren't doing caterings anymore because you can't have anyone, and you have the social distancing. So no 6 feet is the rule. And then, people just haven't been buying donuts yet because they've been just trying to figure out how they're going to get food and things like that. Which, that's a whole nother conversation around hoarding, you know, and so I have been going in overdrive promoting my meal planning services. It's no contact deliveries, have a delivery driver that's been going and delivering to people, letting them know, hey, text message or call on your food is at the door once they get in the car. Doing the same thing with the donuts and promoting them nationally like I have always been doing. So doing a lot of shipping, but then people that are ordering, still offering the no contact delivery for them and making the other baked goods that I do. And mainly what's been happening is just the private chef piece and the catering piece have come to a standstill, but, just been working with people through that. So I do a lot of classes as well. So right now I'm working on figuring out how to get some online classes going, which this is my maybe third experience with Zoom. So maybe I'll do a Zoom cooking class now. um, and then other than that, my partner, he works in the communications field. And so he has to go to work every day, which, is, hard for him as well. But we've been working through it. Our family's healthy and everyone is good and they're staying home and working from home. And so that's a major blessing. um, and then other than that, through business, like I said, that's happening. But I have been really focusing on what are people going through and how can we help people right now. And that's been the main one of the main focuses. And so working with other chefs and other restaurants and other business owners, just figuring out how do we come to support, one another in a real holistic way, so people know that we are a community, we are working with each other, we're here to help each other, and that we have to do that. We have to come together and band together now more than ever, so that we can make sure that we're served with, we're still feeling healing, we're still able to care for ourselves and one another, and we have some balance going on even though we're stuck in our own homes.
Well, do you consider yourself a leader? Why or why not?
Um, I guess I've always been called that, even when I was younger. Just being able to problem solve and come up with some ideas, and always wanting to share and help to advance other people, share knowledge, or share information, or even sharing things that I know that other people are doing to help support others. I feel like me being a leader wasn't anything I called myself, as much as it was just I was doing those types of things, and people started to say, "Oh, you're a great leader." And I just had never really thought about that. It's kind of the same thing when I became vegan. I didn't realize I was vegan either until somebody said, "Oh, you're vegan." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so, and I feel like we're all leaders. And so I feel like it's just, in places are able to rise to different occasions, we're able to do certain work, and we're able to tap into those areas that we're really strong at, and then not being afraid of where we're weak at and showing people that. And I'm pretty transparent with that. When I'm doing great, great. And when I'm not doing my best, that I want to make sure that that's out there, because I think something that as leaders we tend to do is we want people to see that really great piece of us, and that we're always on point. But that's not true, and we're all human beings, and we all feel really great sometimes, and sometimes we don't feel that great, and sometimes we're falling a little short. And it's important to be transparent about that, because that makes us human and it helps us to be able to grow. And sometimes those areas that we need to strengthen end up being the strongest part of ourselves. And for me, that just happens to be me being, I'm a pretty sensitive person and an emotional person, and I want everybody to be happy and in a good place. And when there's possibilities where I'm able to help people, I always want to be able to do that. And I think that that's leadership, is being able to help people or reach out to people, and build on those needs that we all have in a way that makes people feel good, and doesn't, it's not about ego. It's just really about, we want to do this thing because we acknowledge that people need that. And so then there's other times where people have just tended to reach out to me for things, and then I've always you a lot of times I've been able to either provide information or resources, or point people in the right direction. And I feel like that's a major part of leadership, is just like, you don't know everything, and so you point people to the direction of people that do know more than you know, and not being caught up in me, but being caught up in, it takes all of us and it's we.
Well, during this time of COVID, what has been your greatest accomplishment, and then what are the ways in which you're looking at systemic change?
Oh man, I feel like my greatest accomplishment has just been staying level-headed, not succumbing to the depression that I see a lot is happening a lot right now, and staying positive, and just, understanding that there's a bigger plan than what we know, that yes, this is happening, but there's something else that's going on. And just asking those questions about, what if this is happening, not that we want it to, but what if this is happening to make us have more self-care, to respect one another more, to honor this environment, this earth that we live on more, and to really do some self-reflection, so we can have some healing of things that we've been going through, so that we can come off on the other side and love one another more, help one another more, connect to one another more, and just be more full of love and gratitude and humility to one another, and really understand what has happened over the time that we've been on earth, and what is the best of that time, and where are those areas that we all contribute to, that we can work on, because everything's energy. and that's been something that I have focused on, is like recognizing the energy, and the energy has been really strong over, these couple months. But even before that, the energy was really strong, and I'm an empath, and so I feel energy. And prior to knowing that I was feeling energy of a lot of different people, I took it all on myself, and I'd feel like, man, what's going on? And so now in this moment, I'm feeling like, whoa, there's a lot of energy going on, and we have to do our part to funnel in more positive energy, more positive thoughts, more positive thinking, and more positive awareness. And so that's been one of the main accomplishments I find that have been happening, as well as understanding and honoring when I am feeling bad, and recognizing that there's a lot of things going on right now, and that that's okay to feel that way. It's just not okay to stay in that place.
Mhm.
Um, and then part of the work that's been happening from this, for me, has been connecting with other chefs and other businesses to create products and services for people that we all have different expertise in, to bring to people, whether that's online cooking classes, or excuse me, connecting with people that we know that are doing like story time for, one another, and those that are brushing up and learning now how to finally like write a business plan up, and figuring out all those ideas, as well as figuring out ways to, like, for people to be at home with your kids when you've worked and your kids are at school all day, and like respecting and honoring teachers more, because like they do a lot of hard work, and we're realizing that now, because now we got to be indoors all day long. um, but one thing that we're doing is, I started out a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago now, with Chef Tariq Abdullah and Chef Jermaine Miller. We opened up Jermaine Miller space to create like a food hub where people can come and pick up food that's being created. And then I ended up, now that that's like all happening and going and flowing, I ended up connecting with Cafe Red, which is over there off of MLK and Othello. Kimberly Sandy, who's also she's a vegan photographer. She's a photographer, and she runs a vegan, Seattle Vegan Life, which is a online magazine where she just highlights different people that are doing work that's around plant-based and veganism in Seattle, and wanting to do the same thing, offering food for people that need food. We found out there's so many people that need food, so many people that are struggling, and wanting to just make that something that is not that doesn't have to be a stressor for people. People have little kids, people are not eating, they don't want to go to the store, they're afraid. And so the very least, if you have food, then that gives you a little bit sense of like balance, and can start to become a foundation for you. And then it just creates that knowing and understanding, and that safe comfort, knowing that people are out there and they're willing to help you, and we just have to be safe about it. And so we've created these Healthy Creations plant-based food boxes that can be picked up at Cafe Red on Mondays. And so it's basically just a box. It's different from what Tariq and Jermaine are doing, in the sense that they're cooking the food, and I'm actually working with Kimberly and Cafe Red, Food Not Bombs, PCC, and Cyrita Brunel, to create these food boxes where people can come and pick up produce, bread, there's pastries, there's deli items in there for people. And then there's some other goods in there. And we don't really know what's in there until we get it on Monday. But people can order them online, and then they have certain times they can pick up, and we have one box for individuals and another one for families. And we just want to make sure people are able to get food. And then once they're able to get food, then people can think clearly. It's the same concept as kids that are on free reduced lunch. If you don't eat at school, you can't really focus on anything you're doing in school, which means you can't give your full effort. And that's where Prison the Pipeline comes in, and all these other, things that are happening mental health wise and emotional health wise. So just wanting to make sure that everybody has food, so they can then focus on the rest of the well-being that they need to.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you for feeding the community.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you would say to our youth about what they can do in this time to support your work, or to support the community in any way?
I think overall, like just being really amazing young people is supporting my work, because it has to get passed on at some point in time. We're always open to internships at Hip Hop and Green. We have a summer internship program that we're working towards still making it a year-round program. We were really close, and then this happened. It was like, but everything happens for a reason. So at Hip Hop is Green, we do a summer program that is a mixture of healing through food, culinary anthropology, growing food, and STEM. And so the way that the youth could most help me would be for them to get involved into a program like Hip Hop is Green or another program, offer up just check in on one another, is helpful, to me. Check in on one another, call one another, text one another, even someone that maybe you don't get along with, just maybe send them a text or a call and just check on them. Sometimes it's just miscommunication. So now's the time for us to mend and heal relationships that need to be mended and healed. Sometimes I think we get we get all these emotions as younger people and don't really know how to kind of funnel them in the right direction. So now's an opportunity to really figure out how to do those things. And then as this virus is destroyed, my biggest ask would be get in the community, do more things, connect with more people like myself that really are doing the work and want to support and help community happen, and want to impart that knowledge and want to mentor and want to share, as well as get involved with organizations like Hip Hop is Green and Why We, just around figuring out ways to give back to the community, because a lot of young people in general, they need to see positive young people and the things that people are doing around that are really positive, because there's a lot of things going on, but sometimes the negative gets outweighed, and we need to put and push forth all the positivity and the gratitude and the love and let people see that, so that people have that hope that they need. And then just around the work that I'm doing, what to me it always is helpful is figuring out ways to get more young people involved in these positive programming where they are able to learn and grow and find themselves around people that support them and want to share with them, so that they can then become those next leaders. So like Hip Hop is Green, we have this program, and every summer, our first summer was last year, we had about 20 young people. They came twice a week. They learned about food. They learned about science, technology, engineering, art, and math through food and through gardening and growing food. And they had access to about 10 different mentors that were there. And then we were going to have a food expo. I mean, a Hip Hop is Green Expo that was part food and education as well, that was going to happen in March, which we did have to cancel like everyone else did. And
Mm.
so, those types of opportunities are ways for young people to come and to participate and to get involved. And then just letting people know things that you want to do. So, people that want to learn how to cook and become chefs and explore that whole food and agriculture arena, definitely reach out to me and I'll help as much as I can and point you in the right directions and mentor and invite you into programs and do things like that. And then, when you're able to get out in the community with people and just work together. And then I think the final thing that's super important to me for young people to do is be aware of your environment, be aware of your surroundings. People are kidnapping kids right now. They're doing all these really crazy things, and it's just really important to me that young people are safe and we're prepared and we get off of the phones when we're out and about doing things, and just be really aware of your surroundings. Ask for help, ask for people to be with you, to walk with you, to just be present with them. And I know that we're at that age where, when we're younger, we think that we're adults, so we want to like date and do all those things, and just be really, really careful. That's my main thing, is I worry about young people, because when we were younger, cell phones were not as prominent as they are now. And so we were out and about doing things. And now being out and about, could be the difference between going home and not going home. And so my ask is really like, every young person watching this, show this to somebody else, tell them to please be careful, please be aware, please be vigilant, please be please just be clear and be awake about what you're doing so that you make sure that you're safe and make sure that you look out for others and you go with people. You don't go by yourselves, and all of those avenues where you can support and connect one another, do that and reach out to adults like Reagan and myself and the many other adults that really care, and ask for help, talk to people, don't be afraid, and just know that you have the support and that you're loved and we honor you and respect you and we know that you are amazing, and stay in that amazingness.
Oh, well, thank you so much for your time. This has been
Thank you.
Women in Leadership.
That's right. Amazing. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.